Morning.
Thank you. Two things: to make sure you're friendly, to show you are awake. In our readings this morning, both of them, we come across the terrible twos, the twin terrors. Those two things that cause more problems upon this world than any other thing. I'm of course talking about authority and judgment. Who has the first? Who is fit to do the second? These two things can be quite a pressure on ordained priests who are given authority, but are they also given authority to judge? And if they are given authority to judge, are they given authority to heal and forgive all sin? It's a delicate path, and something that many people have fallen into. The Orthodox Church is a bit more clearer than, say, the Church of Rome or the Anglo-Catholic Church or the Protestant churches. Yes, not just clergy, but all people are given authority from God through Christ while proclaiming His word or teaching His message to people we come across, or indeed just living our Christian lives. But that authority, not for anyone, crosses the line into judgment. And this is spelled out in our parable today. There's a servant. The servant is each and every one of us who accept and proclaim Christ. We are the servant who owes the 10,000 talents. A huge sum. Impossible to pay for anyone outside of royalty and conquest at that time. He could have had umpteen lifetimes and that debt would never have been paid. So to ask for longer to pay it was a futile reasoning on his part, because he could never pay it. But to forgive his debt was such a magnanimous act beyond all things. To forgive somebody absolutely everything. It beggars belief. And that was God. God forgave the servant who is us. And the servant should have learnt the message, as we should from the Holy Gospels. And we should forgive all people all that they owe. Not just in cash or material things, but in attitude, in attacks, in anything that they do to us. There's no question. We forgive. We never, ever judge. Because that servant who is us did judge. He grabbed his own servant and asked him to pay the bill. And when his own servant said exactly the same thing as he did to his master, no impact. Went right across his head. And he took him and had him thrown in prison, tortured until he paid what was left, a measly 100 denarii. Roman soldiers got 250 denarii a year as a soldier. So it wasn't a great amount of money. It could have been paid off. And of course, the fellow servants who saw this were astonished and angered by it. Now, the fellow servants are not, as we might think, fellow Christians who pleaded with God through prayer. No. As Blessed Theophylact tells us, the fellow servants are the angels of God who watch our every deed. And they make a note of everything that we do. And they report back to God. And the angels of God, seeing what this man had done, reported back to God. And God was infuriated and could have cast him off for all eternity and did nothing for abusing what he did. But as we know from subsequent parables, from the teaching of Jesus Christ, God doesn't judge in that way. I'm sure many of us have been frightened to death by stories of evil demons and the fires of hell, and to be prodded for all eternity on slabs of fire. We don't know that. Maybe I don't know. What we do know is that God will judge righteously, because only God can judge righteously. If I attempt to judge anyone, I'm clouded by my past experiences and my present biases. We all are. And it's a fool who says they're not. So judgment must be left in the hands of God and God alone. But what about authority? In the epistle, St. Paul is having his authority challenged. And he says in his letter to the Corinthians, all people are worth or entitled to the benefits of the teachings that are proclaimed. What he's saying is that, well, he's being criticised because A, he doesn't work, and B, he takes money from other people to ensure that his ministry continues. And some people didn't like that. They thought he should work and donate himself to the church as a good steward of the church. But this is where authority is given to certain people and not to all, or indeed a different authority is given to some people. Some people are called to serve God in a full-time mission where every moment of every day is in the pursuit of the kingdom of God. Some of us, luckily, either work or have pensions we can fall back on, so we don't need that. But the authority is there that priests can and should do that if that is what is required. And the people are told that they should support it. And we have great examples of this. We have in the Bible, we have Nicodemus, we have Joanna, we have Mary Magdalene, and please don't say the prostitute. That really irks me tremendously. She was never a prostitute. It was Pope Gregory in about the 6th century who made all that confusion, and has carried on ever since then. Mary Magdalene was possessed by 7 demons, which Jesus healed her from. But she supported all her life the ministry of Jesus, both financially and spiritually and in prayer. As did Joanna, Joanna the Roman, who also gave freely to make sure all the apostles' ministry could continue. Which is why it's always difficult in churches like ours. Because on the one hand, we have to say you must give to keep your church going. You must give even till it hurts. And that may be true, but not until it becomes life-threatening. So we do a call on all people who are able, and you alone and God know who is able what to give and who to give it to. And then to give of what you have over and above what you need to survive. Nobody wants money that can cause destitution to other people. But we do require this to keep our churches going, to keep the doors open, to pay the bills. That doesn't come miraculously, no matter how much people think it does. It's hard earned and it's hard fought. And this is part of the authority that we all have, priests and people included, to ensure that the gospel of Christ, and that's what it comes down to, we're ensuring that the gospel of Christ is heard from this church, and that people on hearing it may be called to Christ, may be converted, and may be saved for all eternity. And if we fail in our duty and that doesn't happen, then we could be called to account for that failure in judgment time when we stand before Christ himself face to face. This is a difficult topic to talk to people about.